We know we can help you. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
They're local, they're San Antonio, and they know sports. They're R&R in the morning, KTFM Floresville, and SASportsStar.com. San Antonio's Sports Center.
What a weekend of football we have upon us. It starts tomorrow with the All-American Bowl from the Alamo Dome at noon. That will be right here on San Antonio Sports Star, and it'll be followed by, well, the San Antonio Sports All-Star Game. That's at 5:30. Then we got a doubleheader in the NFL. Starts at 3 with Steelers. And then we get the Texans and Colts to wrap up the day on Saturday. Extra Innings is next.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That ball is history. A walk-off home run.
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge.
What's up, gang? Can't stop me now.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star. SportsStar.com. I am James Pledger. Thanks for joining me, whether it's at 94.1 FM, SASportsStar.com if you're listening on your devices, or pull up your YouTube app. Open up YouTube, go to SA Sports Star, like, subscribe. You can comment along with the show, be fully interactive, or you could just call or text to 656-ESPN. That is 210-656-3776. Appreciate everybody for rolling through this evening. Last night, we got a treat. Spurs fans, you were delivered a treat, and I'm happy because we have been through a lot this season, just sitting, waiting, watching, and what we've been watching hasn't been good for the most part. But the other night, with Milwaukee, Giannis, the Greek Freak, rolling into town, Dame Lillard, I would argue, despite the loss, the San Antonio Spurs played their best game of the season for a full 48 minutes, and it was beautiful. It felt like a glimpse at the future. Now, we've been fooled before, so I am waiting for the consistency. But Victor Wembanyama in only 26 minutes, which is 2 minutes longer than the 24 minutes we were told that he was allowed to go, went shot for shot with the Freak, it seemed like. Giannis played in 48 minutes, or 40 minutes, had a monster game, but so did Victor Wembanyama. In just 26 minutes, 27 points, 9 rebounds, 5 blocks. And it started well, it stayed competitive, and you can complain about little blips and instances, but for the most part, I thought that was a great game played by the Spurs on both ends of the floor for the most part. And Victor Wembanyama talked about after the game how satisfying it was despite the loss.
Today was there was a satisfying point to me. We really had our rhythm at some point, and just the fact that we can compete with a championship level team like this, it's promising, and it's also the first thing Pop told us coming back to the locker room. And we had some moments, some moments in the game where everything seemed to work out, and I could also feel the crowd believing in us, and getting going. So some of this was satisfying tonight.
That is Victor Wembanyama on his 20th birthday, by the way, as he managed to have an incredible performance. And it's something that gives hope. And I remind people of the time before he was even in the league. Giannis Antetokounmpo was speaking on Serge Ibaka's podcast. And he mentioned the fact that on that podcast, he had mentioned the fact that watch out for this Victor Wembanyama. He's incredible. He's going to change the game. I am paraphrasing for the most part what Wemby said on the Serge Ibaka podcast. But again, last night after the game, he comes through and is very, very complimentary of one Victor Wembanyama.
He's going to be an extremely good player. You got to stay healthy. He plays the right way, plays to win. I don't know. I've never seen anything like him, 7'4", 7'5". I don't know how tall he is. He's not 7'3". He's way taller than 7'3". So whoever say he's 7'3", that's a lie. But like at the end of the day, like you haven't seen anything like that. You know, I haven't. Maybe you guys have seen. I don't think you guys have seen everything. So the sky is the limit, and as long as you work hard and you keep on having a positive attitude, energy towards the game, everything that he dreams of is going to happen for him. But like I've seen him play. He played in Nashville. We played together, so I went and watched a couple of games, and I've seen him compete. And even there, I knew he's going to be special. But now seeing him, playing against NBA players and do the things that he's doing, it's pretty amazing.
That is Giannis Antetokounmpo talking about Victor Wembanyama, and I want to remind people of what we heard from earlier in the season. We're still getting it. We're still getting clips of it, but this week was a lot better. But Bulls play-by-play talking about the inability to pass to Wemby.
Brandon missed him too. I don't know how you miss a 7'4" guy.
Yeah, how do you exactly
I just
not
don't
see him in your
understand
field
that.
of vision there?
Like he's yelling, throw the ball up to the rim. Remember, he hurt the Bulls in San Antonio by just throwing it up there and they wouldn't go get it. Man, it's almost like his team is reluctant to throw it to him. Wembanyama is your number one guy, and everyone else needs to find their role after that. Because it seems like right now, just watching this team twice now, is that there's guys out here trying to figure out if I'm the number one guy.
Yeah.
Am I the number one guy? No, I hate to break it to you. You're not. You're not.
And we've all felt that, right? It's been a thing. Well, earlier today on the Pat McAfee show, Jason Williams, J-Will, another former Bull, much like Stacey King there on the call with the Bulls play-by-play. J-Will, former Chicago Bull, was on with Pat McAfee, and they're seeing the same thing and asking J-Will about the perception that they're just not throwing Wemby the ball.
Let's talk about the alien that's currently in the NBA. Wemby's the real deal. Why won't they pass him the ball, J-Will? Is that an accurate depiction of what's going on? That's all I see on the internet. I don't watch the games. I don't know basketball well enough, but I do know the internet's telling me that his teammates down there in San Antonio won't pass him the damn ball. They have no idea that they got a guy on their team that is 7 foot 100 and better than you are. Is that real? Is that a real take? And how do we see it all going for Wemby and San Antonio Spurs?
I mean, welcome to the league. Welcome to the league of young teams. Like, I don't think a lot of people understand, like in basketball too. I'm not sure how it is in football, but in basketball, when you got a guy that is supposed to be the guy and everybody, look, this is the most hyped prospect we had in the game of ball since LeBron James. I mean, last night, are you kidding me? Like the ball behind the back, the fact that literally he gave a jab step on Giannis and back cut him to the basket, banged it. I mean, you don't see anybody in the game of basketball at 7'5" doing that, right? So you have other young guys who are in a team who are also trying to get contracts too. So when they're trying to get their contract, and then you got Wemby, who's the guy, there's naturally animosity. And I don't care how good of a team a Coach Pop is, like you can't, when you're coaching younger players, that's the hardest thing about it, right? Everybody wants to shine and get paid their payday.
So how do you fix it?
So how does that get fixed? They're going to have to ship those guys. I think Connor did a little research before on another situation. What was the one you
It was
brought?
Luka Doncic in Dallas. I think they shipped 4 to 5 vets out of Dallas after his rookie year.
So they could start playing his style of basketball. Is that what's going to happen probably with Wemby down there in San Antonio, or is Pop going to have to figure it out?
I mean, PM, think about this too, AJ. I mean, that guy's Jalen Brunson. Like Jalen Brunson, let Jalen Brunson walk. Like Jalen Brunson, like we talk about 1A, 1B, whatever the hell you want to call him. That dude is a stud for the New York Knicks. Like he was on that team with Luka Doncic. Can you imagine what that backcourt would have been? Now they wouldn't have got Kyrie, but still, like those are the types of decisions that go into it. So if you're watching Giannis and you're saying Giannis had 44 last night, Giannis's body looks like a grown ass man body. If you say Wemby, who's 20 years, dude just turned 20 years old. If you give him 5-6 years and his body looks like Giannis's, yeah, I'm shipping out whoever the hell I need to ship out to bring the right vets around to understand this is Wemby's team. We're going to build around Wemby, period.
Okay, well, I hope they do that because we can't wait to see him continue to blossom and play. And they've been training his ankles and everything like his whole life so he doesn't get injured, which massive humans would normally do. The Wemby experiment seems to be going well personally, but the team sucks. Maybe they'll figure it out next year.
That was Jay Will on the Pat McAfee show earlier today talking about Victor Wembanyama and the perception of him not getting the ball when he needs the ball. We saw more instances of that with Blake Wesley last night and others. And we've seen that before when people didn't fall in line, there has been an exit. We'll talk more about it with Jeff Garcia of Locked On Spurs when he joins me coming up at 6:30. And Jeff Garcia asked a very, very, very important question earlier, I think, post-game, that he was talking with Devin Vassell one-on-one and ended up asking him about one of the lineup tweaks they made last night. And maybe that's a reason why the game was so close.
Man, it's huge. Trey brings a different energy. When we're on transition, he's always looking up and just trying to find others. He knows when and where to find you. Just a true point guard, and the energy he brings on both ends of the court is huge for us. And I already knew he was going to have a good game. So, shout out Trey, and if he sees this, keep his head up because that's a good shot.
That was Devin Vassell talking about the insertion of Trey Jones into the lineup for the starters. And we've seen a couple tweaks here and there, even though many of us have been screaming from mountain high about getting Trey Jones into the starting rotation. But for the first time, it looked like the ball flowed better offensively with that starting unit from the start of the game. And that is a positive. Remember, Jeff Garcia, the man who asked that question of Devin Vassell last night, will join us at 6:30 here on Extra Innings with Pleasure. But coming up next, the Dallas Cowboys win and all your dreams are realized. But injuries are abound. Are they an issue? We'll discuss next right here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 and SASportsStar.com.
It's R&R in the morning.
Monday on R&R in the morning, we break down the Cowboys versus the Commanders. Also at 7:30, as always, after a Cowboy game, we're joined by NFL ESPN insider Todd Archer.
It's Huskies, it's Wolverines, it's a national championship game. Who you got? We'll get you ready for it. And oh, by the way, did the Spurs take down the Cavaliers? Lots to talk about. Don't forget, the party starts at 6.
It's your wake-up call. R&R in the morning, 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
Bubba, we appreciate you.
Thanks, man.
Gigi doesn't. She said,
You left me hanging, but whatever. I still love you. And I was there first.
She's talking about the show meeting you had yesterday. She's the only one that showed up.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there like, yeah, guys, I'm 3 minutes early.
Right.
What the
And
heck?
that was 50-1 odds in Vegas.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Every Saturday morning.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
You can now buy official Texas lottery tickets right from your phone at jackpot.com. Don't wait. Mega Millions and Powerball jackpots are getting bigger every day. Plus, get a free ticket with your first play. Go to jackpot.com. That's jackpot.com. Paid for by jackpot.com. You must be 18 or older to order a lottery ticket. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack.
but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
My daughter is normally a little goofball, but after a bad night's sleep, she's too tired to be anything. That's why I trust Pure Z's Kids. Pure Z's Kids is mindfully formulated just for kids. Their non-habit forming, drug-free products help my daughter fall asleep naturally, giving her the rest to be her best.
I'm a dinosaur.
Her best dinosaur.
Pure Z's Kids, for ages 4 and up when needed. Explore our products at zquill.com.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Get the home field advantage every time with Fairfield by Marriott, official hotel partner of the NCAA. Whether you're a student athlete working toward your championship dreams or your team's biggest fan, Fairfield by Marriott has everything you need to get ready for game day. From comfortable guest rooms to complimentary hot breakfast, Fairfield is part of the Marriott Bonvoy portfolio of hotels and official hotel partner of the NCAA. Visit fairfield.marriott.com to book your next game day stay.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be a sign that your digestive system isn't working at its best? Taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil fiber powders help promote your daily digestive health using a plant-based fiber called psyllium. The gelling action of this special fiber traps and removes waste, so you can feel lighter and more energetic. Metamucil, promoting digestive health for a better you. Learn more at metamucil.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Are you tired of going to the dentist over and over again? Hi, I'm Dr. Andrew Mueller, Chief Oral Surgeon at Doctor's Implants.
We have put a lot of money into fixing my teeth over and over and over again, a filling or a crown or a this or that.
At Doctor's Implants, replacing your teeth with full mouth dental implants might be the long-term solution you're looking for.
The 6-Hour Smile is a permanent full mouth teeth replacement. Your new smile will be custom designed to fit your face and lifestyle and will look and function just like regular teeth. You won't need to remove them from your mouth overnight, and you won't need adhesive to keep them in place. Eat freely and smile confidently again. Research them at doctorsimplants.com. Receive a complimentary doctor's consultation and CT scan when you call 210-640-0000. Again, that's 210-640-0000.
Mother 6-Hour Smile.
Dave Ramsey here for my friends over at Connecticut in San Antonio. Trust me, Connecticut water systems are the best of the best. I personally have one in my home. All those other water softener systems out there are junk in comparison. Connecticut uses less water and runs on kinetic energy. So there's no computer to break, fewer moving parts, and it works only when you need it. It was even voted most efficient water softener in the world by the Water Quality Association. The team at Connecticut San Antonio can test your water, install a system, and provide treatment all without stepping a foot inside your home.
I'm Chris Canepa of Connecticut and San Antonio in the Hill Country. I'll let you try a Connecticut quality water softener for 90 days absolutely free. Call us at 656-PURE, that's 656-7873, or visit us on ConnecticutSA.com.
And tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
Call 656-PURE, Connecticut.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply or price stopped. Opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details. Homeowners, this is not a drill. Do not put off replacing old, broken, drafty windows in your home one more day. Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies, can transform your home, fixing common issues like hot or cold rooms or sky-high energy bills. Renewal by Andersen's Fibrex windows and doors combine the strength and insulation of wood plus the low maintenance and durability of vinyl, guaranteed to never fade, flake, blister, or peel. These are truly your forever windows, backed by Renewal by Andersen's industry-leading warranty coverage. Just text WARM to 200-300 for your free consultation on top quality affordable windows or patio doors for no money down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right, you don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings are only in January. Text WARM to 200-300 right now. Text the word WARM to 200-300. Don't wait. Text WARM to 200-300.
Hey, it's Jim Rome, and it's great to be back in San Antonio. Join me weekdays at noon on my new home, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. Appreciate everybody for rolling through this evening. If you want to be a part of the show, you can always chime in at 210-656-ESPN, 210-656-3776, or if you don't feel like call or texting there, you can just watch the show on our YouTube channel at SA Sports Star on YouTube. Like, subscribe. You can comment along with the show. Like Goldfinger123, who says, watch out for Russ to Washington. Wouldn't be shocked about that. But having the number 2 overall pick, I could also see them falling in love with Drake May or Caleb Williams and wanting to go that route. We'll talk more about the NFL coming up a little bit later in the show, because I find the Chicago situation fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. And I'll close the show out with my thoughts on how Chicago should best build their team moving forward. So absurd. And I'm not sure if there's a wrong answer in it, if I'm being honest. But the Dallas Cowboys, there is a wrong answer, and it's called losing to Washington on this final week of the season. Look, everybody's saying the right things going into this game, including Jerry Jones and Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott talking about, despite them being bad, they need to remain focused.
I mean, it's just about focusing. We understand what the magnitude of this game is and what it means. As I just said, right, winning the division, having the home field. But the last thing you do is focus on that when the whistle blows or any time after that national anthem, honestly. You've got to understand where you are and make that be the fuel to your preparation all throughout the week, which has already started. And as we honestly wrap things up over this next day or so, and then just really define how we want to attack these guys and the plan that we're going into this. Therefore, you just go out there and play the game that we know we can play on the road, which would be important, and just taking a bunch of confidence into this playoff game out of this game.
And Jerry talked about, you're playing a team that has won 4 games this year. They're not good. Their head coach likely not going to be there on Monday when Black Monday rolls around, but you have to fight human nature of letting up in those instances.
Well, I've absolutely, if I were ever going to bet, not on the game, we're not talking about it in that sense. This is an expression in general. But I will tell you right now, this team will be focused on every first down. It'll be focused on the execution of every play at all positions this week. I can't imagine any more focus on this game than any playoff game, or for that matter, championship game we've got ahead of us. I really mean that. Everybody here realizes the importance of getting a chance to have these playoffs and play a big part of them right here at our own stadium. We know what that means to the big picture. No single thing could be more important to us, in my mind, than to put us in a spot to play these games coming up, these next playoff games at our own stadium.
And you can't let out, because everything is at stake in this game. And when I say everything, I mean everything. The number 2 seed, getting 2 home games possibly if you advance through the playoffs. And we've seen that the Cowboys are best, at their absolute best, when they were at home. So that is, yes, vitally important to them. Also, the fact that, they're going to Washington. So that game is on grass. Mike McCarthy does not have a great record on grass. It is 3-9, I believe. in his time with the Dallas Cowboys. The last time they won on grass was against a subpar Bucs team in the first round of the playoffs last year. They haven't won on grass this year at all. They fell to the 49ers. They fell to the Cardinals. They fell to the Eagles. And they fell to the Dolphins. That 0-4 on grass this year. I know they've talked about not needing this game to build confidence, but yeah, build some confidence going into the postseason. Feel good about your rushing attack. Feel good about going and playing on grass if you have to by the time the NFC title game comes around and you have to go play against San Francisco if that's the case. Just steps in the right direction because mentally it's important. It's important to all players. You get in a shooting slump, you get inside your own head. Maybe they're inside their own head when it comes to playing on grass. I'm not sure. But the Blitz posed the questions. Do you even start Dak Prescott if you don't get Tyler Smith and you don't get Tyler Biotish, who is dealing with an illness, and you don't have possibly Tyron Smith? There's a lot on that offensive line, and Mike McCarthy's update this morning on R&R in the Morning about Tyler Smith leads me to think he's not playing.
I tell you, he's you can never count him out. Number one, because he is one tough young man, that's for sure. So he's getting better every day. Really, tomorrow is going to be the day. I mean, if he can, he's made progress. I know Britt feels good about the progress he's making in the path that he's on. But this will be close, but I would never count him out because he, like I said, he will line up and play pretty much through anything.
That was Mike McCarthy earlier this morning, availability, and the more he went on, the less comfortable I felt about him actually playing with his answer. And I know they're trying to lead up to it, but let's not also forget the great equalizer is weather. And Dak Prescott said the other day that they're working on wet ball drills.
Yeah, I mean, we've done a couple of wet ball drills. Honestly, worked with Buck, changing up our balls and the way that we plan on going into this thing, using them, whether it be just the process of the brushing and all of that, understanding that sometimes the water can change the leather. So it's been a process, went well. I think we found the answer in that sense. But for me, it's about making sure I've got the game set mentally, and then we'll worry about that as we get there and what the conditions are. But it's about making sure that myself, these guys, we attack this preparation, we know this plan, we know the details, and we're ready to execute on it.
Goldfinger123 says you're forgetting that it's also not going to be playing on grass if they play at home. No, I'm not forgetting that, which is why home field is so important for them, in my opinion. What say you? 656 ESPN 210-656-3776. Matthew, what's going on? Welcome on to Extra Innings with Pledge.
Mr. Pledge, last time we talked, the question was the identity of the Cowboys. Or really, who's more important, Dak or Micah? To be honest, which is the most important now at this point is just stopping the run, to be honest. I just don't understand how the Cowboys are so weak against the run.
Do you believe Micah is important when it comes to stopping the run?
Yeah, he is undersized at the right end position. People do run at him, and he is undersized. I mean, he's a prototypical middle linebacker. He's not really an outside linebacker. He's just that talented as a football player, to be here and there. But it definitely is something like the chink in the armor of the Cowboys, front seven. But I just want to see him stop the run. Just one time, we already know Sam Howell's probably going to air it out, but to no avail with the secondary. I just want to stop the run. And I want to get your thoughts on us not signing Dalvin Cook or really pushing for him, because we ain't got the running back depth like that. I mean, we got Pollard and then a couple of midgets. You know what I mean? To be honest with you. So I just want to see your thoughts on that. If we're going to be able to run the ball, as Mike McCarthy, promised us at the beginning of the game. I know we didn't do it for the majority of the season, but maybe in the playoffs, that when it really counts is when we're going to lean on it. But I think that Dalvin Cook pickup non-pickup kind of hurt us.
Matt, I appreciate Mike McCarthy at least swerving away from what he realized was a failed experiment in terms of running the football. He understood that this team doesn't do it well, and the best way for them to bleed out the clock is with Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. And ever since those two got on the same page after the San Francisco game, this offense has been on another level. You can't venture away from that in the playoffs. That's what's gotten you to this point. That's what's gotten you to 12 wins. That's been the most consistent part of your offense. And I believe that is the identity of your offense. And if you want to bleed out the clock, pick up first downs that way. As it pertains to the run, you need Jonathan Hankins in there. And
absolutely,
he's an important piece to stopping the run for the Dallas Cowboys. Would you sit him this week just to make sure he's full go for the playoffs?
I wouldn't,
because
I guess
this game is
I
important.
Would. Yeah, no, it is. It's extremely important, especially for the Cowboys, for the home field and et cetera. But I feel like you definitely implement him. I feel like you implement him this week, so that we know that football is a week-to-week basis, but he is going to need to get a few snaps just to get that confidence going into the playoffs. And Jonathan Hankins is huge, but I really don't think that he's that caliber player to really make a huge difference in the game. But I wouldn't sit him. I wouldn't sit him. And I would get him them reps. And I would get him that confidence going forward, because it is going to be, hopefully, it should be pledged. It should be a wash.
It should be.
Game. It should be.
But
you just
it's
don't
the
know.
NFL.
I just don't know. It is the NFL, but it sucks because Washington just had a fire sale, and they don't really have the talent like that, like they used to on paper, at least.
No.
But at the same time,
but they got enough.
I just don't feel comfortable with the identity of the Cowboys being Dak in the passing. It is elite in the regular season. No, nobody's going to just see the numbers and everything else. That definitely show that. But I think
am more comfortable that Mike McCarthy has admitted his mistake and embraced the identity that works. I appreciate a person that. Well, he hasn't said that they've done that, but actions. So appreciate the phone call, Matt. You're welcome back anytime. Man. Yeah, I appreciate a head coach that can realize something doesn't work, and he's willing to admit his mistake, move on from it, and go with what actually is working. And the two best players on that team on offense are Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb, and he put the ball in their hands. Coming up next, we have Jeff Garcia of Locked On Spurs coming on as we talk about Wemby's 20th birthday game against the Greek Freak and what that game last night means for the Spurs moving forward. That's all coming up here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's Dallas Cowboys football on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It's the Cowboys and Commanders. Sunday afternoon at 2:30.
Out of the gun, back to Dak. He's taking another shot in the end zone. Left side of the end zone. Touchdown.
Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds, the law office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla, Ewald Kubota, Mother's Window Tint, Woods Comfort Systems, and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-5407. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-5407. That's 800-575-5407. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
SA Card House is the premier card house in San Antonio. That's right. All of our poker playing listeners tuning in, SA Card House is a must visit. It offers a beautiful atmosphere. It's clean, it's inviting, and it's top-notch customer service for your poker playing pleasure. SA Card House brings a unique and completely new vibe to card houses, offering games for all skill levels, which is why I'm so in love with it, because I'm just a beginner. I go in there and they make me feel welcome, and everybody kind of teaches teaches you the game. And they got games for you professional level poker players. And don't forget about Foster's Bar and Grill. I've had just about everything on the menu, and everything is fantastic. They have 3, 4, maybe 5 different chefs in there, all great food, and I've had the best banana bread pudding that you can possibly ever have. Everything's made from scratch, and of course, the poker playing is top-notch. SA Card House is a private social club, and they're always accepting new memberships. Visit sacardhouse.com for more info. Stop in for a quick drink. Check the space out. That's SA Card House at Bitters and 281.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details. Homeowners, this is not a drill. Do not put off replacing old, broken, drafty windows in your home one more day. Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies, can transform your home, fixing common issues like hot or cold rooms or sky-high energy bills. Renewal by Andersen's Fibrex windows and doors combine the strength and insulation of wood plus the low maintenance and durability of vinyl, guaranteed to never fade, flake, blister, or peel. These are truly your forever windows, backed by Renewal by Andersen's industry-leading warranty coverage. Just text WARM to 200-300 for your free consultation on top-quality affordable windows or patio doors for no money down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right, you don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings are only in January. Text WARM to 200-300 right now. Text the word WARM to 200-300. Don't wait. Text WARM to 200-300.
The South Texas RV Super Sale is back at Freeman Expo Hall, and boy, do we have a great show this year. Hundreds of RVs, every shape and size. All dealers are ready to sell. You'll get the best prices of the year, Thursday through Sunday. South Texas RV Supersale.com.
Denise has been playing jazz for 40 years. Last concert, one of the musicians fell sick with RSV. Respiratory syncytial virus, or RSV, is a highly contagious virus that can lead to breathing problems. This time, she's choosing to help protect herself with Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo. Abrysvo is a vaccine for the prevention of lower respiratory tract disease caused by respiratory syncytial virus, RSV, in adults 60 years of age and older. Abrysvo is not for everyone and may not protect Abrysvo if you've had a severe allergic reaction to its ingredients. People with a weakened immune system may have a decreased response to Abrysvo. The most common side effects are tiredness, headache, pain at the injection site, and muscle pain. Ask your pharmacist or doctor about Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo, respiratory syncytial virus vaccine. For full prescribing information, please call 1-844-989-7284 or visit abrysvo.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
You can now buy official Texas lottery tickets right from your phone with jackpot.com. Mega Millions and Powerball jackpots are getting bigger every day, so don't wait. Go to jackpot.com, choose your lottery game, pick your lucky numbers, and get your winnings instantly. Plus, get a free ticket with your first play. Get in on the action. Go to jackpot.com and buy lottery tickets on your phone. Go to jackpot.com. That's jackpot.com. Jackpot.com. Paid for by jackpot.com. You must be 18 or older to order a lottery ticket. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
It's the Awesome Tickets Pro Football Pick'em Challenge on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Your shot at $50,000 nationally, while weekly winners locally get a $50 gift card to 5 Oaks Ace Hardware on Thousand Oaks. At the end of the season, locally, the best overall record wins the San Antonio Grand Prize of $1,000 worth of tickets to any event from Awesome Tickets. Sign up today at sasportstar.com.
Howdy, San Antonio. This is Andrew Monaco, and you're locked on the home of the Aggies, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
What was it like getting Trey that start tonight? What kind of vibe did he bring to that starting unit?
Man, it's huge. Trey brings a different energy. When we're on transition, he's always looking up and just trying to find others. He knows when and where to find you. Just a true point guard. The energy he brings on both ends of the court is huge for us. And I already knew he was going to have a good game. So, shout out Trey. And he sees us, keep his head up because that's a good shot.
That was Devin Vassell. And the voice you heard just before is the voice of our good friend from Locked On Spurs, Jeff Garcia, who is joining us now on the Buyers Barricades guest line. Jeff, that is the question we've all been wondering is why Trey Jones has not been starting with the issues that we've had at point guard. I got a question, man. Is this gonna stick?
I'm gonna say no. I think they go back to Trey coming off the bench. If they haven't done it by now, what's to say they're going to do it moving forward? I mean, look how stubborn the coaching staff, Popovich, were keeping Sohan at the point guard to start the season, even though the numbers were screaming, "Don't do it, Pop, stop it." But they still went with it. Just something about him coming off that bench that coaching staff likes. So once Malachi is back, I think they're going to go back to that normal rotation. But my goodness, I'm not going to be surprised though if maybe there's a little rotations change, lineup changes throughout the rest of the season. Because if we're in experimental phase, Pledger, then why not experiment with Trey Jones starting, even though the numbers make sense? But I had to ask that question because that was his first start since last season, and it took how many games for it to happen?
34.
How many injuries? How many injuries did it take for it to happen for them to finally buckle and say, "All right, Trey, you're out there."
And it's incredible. The offense looked like it moved a little smoother and didn't stick.
I dug through some of the numbers. In the third quarter, Trey played all 12 minutes. In the third quarter, he went 2 for 4 from the field.
They won the third quarter, didn't they?
They won the third quarter, and they didn't get curb stomped like they normally do in the third quarter. So just the numbers were just glaring. But for me, James, it was beyond the numbers. If the numbers are great, I think you got to get those numbers to get the W. I get that. But I was at the game, obviously, and I'm watching Trey throughout the night. And there was one particular play where I just brought a smile to my face. They're on offense. Normally if it was Sohan, he probably would have been like trying to drive to the lane and kick out or something like that. Trey Jones crosses half court, throws up the numbers, gets to the front. He has a defender in front of him. He's screaming at, I think it was Sohan. I'll just say a teammate. How's that? He's pointing to the ground. He's saying, "Get here." And then he gets more vocal. He kind of points down to the court forcefully. He says, "Get here." The guy gets there. We had a Wemby jump shot made. Just that general flouriship that you saw out there was just amazing. Look, I've asked a lot of the players throughout the season about Trey Jones, from obviously Giselle last night to Zach Collins and everybody else in between. All of them say one common thread: floor general. I don't hear that when they're talking about Sohan at point guard. I don't hear that when they're talking about Malachi. Look, not a knock on them. I know they're doing their job, and that's the position they're thrusted in because of Trey Jones coming off the bench. But you hear this over and over again: floor general, floor general. And last night with Devin and our little quick back and forth, he lit up. Just saying, like, man, you heard him. You heard it. Was it just me, James, or did it sound kind of like a relief? Like, man, huge. He goes like that.
Yeah,
just to hear that. Yeah,
for sure. And I look at Trey Jones, and it's something we've all been clamoring for. Look, he's not going to be the end all be all at point guard for him, but is he better than anything that they've had? Absolutely. I don't care that he's not a great shooter. He is a great leader, and he makes the rest of the team around him better, despite his ability to be able to shoot.
Yeah. And you look at the numbers, really good. I think the team had 31 assists for the entire game, and I believe among the starters, 18. So that's a nice little number there to throw at. You overall, you just hope that he continues. I get that old adage, it doesn't matter how you start, it's where you are in the game. Well, if that's true, then you look at that final frame, and he played 10 minutes of the 12 minutes played. Now, I get it, the injury situation, they had to put bodies out there. But then you had Wembayama trust him with a three-corner shot. I mean, that's huge. That's huge. I mean,
much like the way, and I remember early in his playoff career, and that's where the narrative on LeBron James kind of formed, that he didn't want the big shot, was he passed up the big one to an open Donyell Marshall in the corner. Donyell Marshall ended up missing that three that would have won the series. And the narrative was formed on LeBron that he shrinks in the big moment. He doesn't want it. No, he made the right basketball play.
Right. And Wemby did the same thing too. Wemby, I think he was seeing a triple team. They were coming at him. There was like three.
There was a double
Bucks
onto
players.
Vassell. He got it over the top to Wemby. One
Those two
of
guys
the
collapsed
ones
on him,
from
right?
there was one on each side. Trey's guy came up to Wemby, and then there was another guy that came off of Devin to Wemby to kind of sandwich him. He made the pass around the guy that came off Trey and gave Trey the wide open look.
Yeah, and just talk about how much of a competitor Trey is. You saw the anguish in his face when he missed the shot. He put his jersey over his eyes, and just if you could see, he was screaming. He yelled, through his jersey. And you like that competitive fire in him.
You love it. Last one before I let you go and let you get back to your set.
By the way, everybody, Pleasure is my gym coach. Not many people know this. He's my weightlifting coach.
I just know a couple of movements to help isolate certain muscle groups. But is this a mirage, like we saw in Phoenix, or does this feel like this could be sustainable? What we saw against Milwaukee.
For me right now, I'm not knee-jerking. I'm going to wait and see. I think fool me once, shame on you kind of thing here. So I'm going to wait and see how they play tomorrow night against Cleveland. They better not lose to Detroit. And look, a lot of people don't realize this, but take a look at the month of January. It is just insane. They come home for like one game and they're gone for three. They come back for two, then they're gone for three. I mean, it's just wild and so many gaps. So I want to see how they sustain that, their energy levels. Can they do what they did versus Milwaukee, as I mentioned, against Cleveland and so on and so forth. So right now I'm going to wait and hold pattern. I want to see what they can. Can they do it? Yes. But what it does tell me is, wow, we got a glimpse of what can be if this team gets a lot more seasoning, Trey Jones gets more starts, what they can do moving forward.
All right. I'm going to send you some great audio that I got today. Hopefully you can do something with it. But Jay Will was on the McAfee show today, and they were obviously gushing over. So talked about some of the things that we've been talking about for a long time. And Jay Will had a very, very interesting response. I'll send that to you so that you can have some fun with it this weekend.
All right. Thank you, my brother. Appreciate it.
Thank you. That is Jeff Garcia of Locked On Spurs. You can follow him on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone. And of course, all of his stuff is it's on YouTube as well as us, and is also on Spotify and everywhere you get your podcast. Just search for Locked On Spurs for all the great content, including guests like myself who will join from time to time. But he is Jeff Garcia. And when we come back, we're going to get to your phone calls. Manny, Drew, I see y'all there. Y'all are next right here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM and sasportstar.com.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
The truck driver from Texas who was listening to a woman's podcast in Seattle starts communicating with her, and he turns into a stalker. So he drives up to Seattle, and he kills her and her husband.
Oh, my God. Must have been a bad podcast.
The John Clay Wolf Show, every Saturday morning.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show, Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon, right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
If you're a man and you live in San Antonio or the surrounding areas, you need to pay close attention to what I'm about to say. Are you having issues rising to the occasion? Do you constantly worry about whether or not you can perform? Have you completely stopped having adult time? Is it something you just don't talk about? Guys, we have a solution. Mojo, the 100% guaranteed male enhancement pill that's fast, effective, and was designed to reignite passion, performance, and confidence in the bedroom. Yeah. Be ready at a moment's notice with the Mojo Male Enhancement Pill from Pure Line Nutrition. And for those of you who have used Mojo, check out Mojo Enduramax.
Touchdown!
A new formula that improves the potency and effectiveness of Mojo. Get fast results, last longer, and be the man she'll never forget. Mojo and Mojo Enduramax. 100% natural male enhancement formulas only available at Pure Line Nutrition. Call now, 210-494-2210. That's 210-494-2210. Or visit us online at thepureline.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And in the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. The crazy thing is, this never ends. Even when you die, your family's now going to be stuck with this burden. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
See the best of the best. The area's top high school senior players in the San Antonio Sports All-Star Football Game presented by Valero. 116 All-Stars from 67 high schools will compete in the annual Alamo Dome Showdown, Saturday, January 6th, following the National All-American Bowl. One ticket gets you both games starting at just $15. Available on Ticketmaster. The San Antonio Sports All-Star Game presented by Valero, January 6th in the Alamo Dome. Sponsored by Valero, the U.S. Army, HEB, and Sierra, the PM Group, Whataburger, Thomas J. Henry, and Frost.
Jackie Robinson may have broken the color barrier, but he wasn't the first black baseball star. The players who came before him, including my grandpa, Norman Turkey Stearns, competed in a segregated league.
They were denied their rightful place in history.
We're going to uncover the stories of the Negro Leagues and the baseball greats you've never heard of. Reclaimed, the Forgotten League. Listen now, wherever you get your podcasts.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Save up to 40% on molding bulk savings packs. And there's more. Save up to 25% on drywall boards when you buy in bulk. Visit us in-store or online for low prices on the materials you need. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details.
Have you or a family member been arrested? The law office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla, can help regardless of the legal battle you are facing. Personal injury. Jesse Hernandez and his team are ready to fight for you. Calls are answered 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. Call 210-807-8656 or visit JesseHernandezLaw.com. That's 210-807-8656 or JesseHernandezLaw.com. The law office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocation, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing. Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at TSAOG.com.
This is Jim Rome. Join me weekdays at noon on my new home, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. Thanks for rolling with me as we get you through to the weekend and lots to get into. I promised your calls next, and let's go ahead and get to some of those and knock them out. Manny, you're on Extra Innings with Pleasure, my man. What's going on? You want to talk Cowboys?
I want to talk about the Cowboys, man. People talking about who needs to play Sunday. Hey, but they need to win this game. Period. The end. I mean, the Cowboys road woes are very well documented this year. I think people are making too much about the grass, to be honest. I think they just lost to some good teams. I don't think the grass had nothing to do with it. But here's the deal. This is the Cowboys' best chance in 25 years to go to the Super Bowl. I didn't say win it, just get there.
Yep.
All right? Because after this year, it's going to be a different world in Dallas. The next year's draft cap is projected at $240 million, and after you pay Dak $60 million, Micah $30, CD about $30, and they already got 26 wrapped up in Martin, that leaves $94 million for the other 53 guys on the team.
Yep.
So the amount of talent they're going to have available to them, the quality of the role players they're going to be able to have is going to diminish after next year. So this is their best window. This is it. And the Cowboys got to play whoever needs to play this Sunday to win this Washington game so they can have those 2 games at home, which I think they will win at home. And then, like Rudy says in the morning, then they got to face the boogeyman if it is San Francisco over there. And one game, any given Sunday, maybe the Cowboys will stand up and finally get tired of getting their teeth kicked by the Niners, and they'll step up and maybe pull off an upset and win the game. But realistically, man, they got to play whoever. And the best scenario for them is obviously come out, knock the doors off of Washington early, then sit Dak down, and then play the rest of the players and build a lead and then cruise out of there, because they got to have it, man. Whoever needs to play needs to play. And I think that's what's going to happen. But for sure, this is it for the Cowboys. If they do not go to the Super Bowl this year, that window closes after next year. It really does. There's going to be too much money being laid out to a very few amount of players. We see Kansas City this year, after they paid the quarterback over there all that money, they don't have the amount of talent around him now. And that's just how the NFL works. That's why it's always great to have a rookie quarterback contract, try to win a Super Bowl then. But the Cowboys are not in that boat. And then secondly, they didn't draft very well this year. So the players they do have under contract are not very good. So they got to have a great draft this coming year to go along with the amount of money they're about to spend in this next coming year. So this is it, Cowboy fans. Light the candles, do what you got to do for the Sunday. The Cowboys need to win, because this is their best shot they have had in 25 years. And, we need to send Jerry out the big smile and get him to the Super Bowl, And last, the last point pledge is, I think we're going to do it because the curse is lifted. Jimmy is in the Ring of Honor. So all the stars are aligned. The Cowboys needs to go and do it. Everything's in their favor. Let's just get it done. Bottom line, because this is it.
Appreciate the phone call, Manny. You're right. Everything is lined up for the Dallas Cowboys. This is their best opportunity in 25 years, it seems, because there really is one legitimate threat to them in the NFC, and that is the 49ers. And let's say that the 49ers have to face the Rams in the second round. If the Rams get an upset, all of a sudden, maybe the Rams can pull one over on the 49ers, and you're getting a home playoff game in the NFC Championship to take on a team that shouldn't even be there. I think the Cowboys are in as good a spot as they've been. You are absolutely right, Manny.
Well, before I let you go, just a message to Rudy in the morning. We need to get Rudy to stop drinking so much Longhorn Haterade, okay? I don't know what's going on with Rudy. It was a great season by any means.
It's a great season.
The running backs fumbled the ball twice. That was a 10-point swing in the game. Otherwise, we win that game when it coming down to that last pass. But he's like, I don't know, man. Rudy, I don't know. I think Rudy's just he is a camouflage Aggie, I think. I'm not sure.
He hosts a show with one for 4 hours every day. I mean, it's bound to wear
I know.
off on you.
I laugh at them. They both hate on the Longhorns every chance they get. I'm like, wow.
Appreciate it, Manny. You have a great day.
You too.
As Manny, as the Cowboys, he's right. This is their best shot in 25 years. And I believe that. And it is wide open for them. And the road is setting up perfectly, especially with the fact that now they have a chance to lock up the number 2 seed with a win in Washington this Sunday. A game you can catch right here on San Antonio Sports Star, your home for the Dallas Cowboys. Drew also called in. Drew, what's going on, man? Welcome into Extra Innings with Pledger.
Hey, what's up, Pledge? I'm just like, we get the 33 games into the season, 34, whatever. We see Trey Jones start for the first time.
Yep.
Everybody plays great. Even Vassell had a career game, right? Even he had a great game. He made him better, made everybody better. But our coach, for whatever reason this year, he's decided to turn his back on, logic. He always talks about logic, but this is the most illogical thing ever. I mean, isn't Trey Jones basically, if you go, isn't he like Avery Johnson reborn, but a little taller? I mean, he can't shoot, sure. And people say, well, he can't be there in crunch time. But there will be no crunch times if Trey Jones doesn't start.
Well, we've seen that.
Yeah. And I just hope that his teammates, please, if you're listening to my voice, you hear my voice, please do everything you can. Your leader, Wimby, he checked himself in the game. He rewrote a play. You guys can do things to get your teammate, Trey Jones, to get his starting job back. that's defying logic this season. Just tell Pop to say we're tanking and say that in a press conference instead of these 1-minute drive-bys he's been up to. That's all. I mean, I want transparency or something, man. I don't know. I'm destroyed. Go Spurs, go.
It's okay, Drew. Last night proved that better days are around the corner. Guess what? We've got some hoops coming up here in just a few minutes. 7:15, we have a tip-off for Compass Media basketball broadcast as we're bringing you some college hoops right here on San Antonio Sports Star. So that means I get to go for an extra 15 minutes. So if you're on hold, hang tight. We're going to come back, close out the show. An extra 15 minutes of extra innings with pleasure before.
This is Sports Center.
A crucial Week 18 in the NFL. I'm Chris Smith. The Jaguars look to nab the AFC South title for the second consecutive time by beating the Titans, but they may have to do it without quarterback Trevor Lawrence, who will be a game-time decision, according to head coach Doug Peterson, as he's still dealing with a shoulder strain. Now, Falcons QB Tyler Heineke will go through pregame warm-ups on Sunday on his injured ankle before the franchise makes a decision whether or not he'll play in the regular season finale against the Saints. For Atlanta to make the playoffs, it must beat New Orleans and hope Carolina defeats Tampa Bay, which would give the Falcons the NFC South title and a home playoff game on Wild Card Weekend. Now, the Saints, maybe without a running back, Alvin Kamara, who is listed as questionable with a sprained ankle, will be a game-time decision, according to Coach Dennis Allen. And it's a battle of the unbeatens in the CFP Championship as Washington and Michigan collide on Monday night. And ESPN analyst Sam Acho says the second-ranked Huskies have a weapon that will test the top-ranked Wolverines.
Michael Penix Jr., not just last week, but all season long, has been evading pressure with his feet, slide to the left, slide to the right, and throwing it downfield. And so all of a sudden, okay, Michigan wins with pressure. No, they don't. Michael Penix Jr. evades. Michigan wins with their DBs. No, they don't. What if those receivers get open? Those are the things that'll make this matchup really intriguing.
Heard on ESPN Radio's Freddie and Harry. This is the fourth CFP National Championship game between the number 1 and number 2 teams in the rankings, while each of the previous 3 were won by the second-ranked team. Coverage begins 6:30 p.m. Eastern on Monday, right here on ESPN family of networks.
Hey, it's Greeny, and I can't imagine being busier than we will be on Monday morning, looking back at the final weekend of the NFL season and ahead to the natty Michigan and Washington. It's Greeny, starting 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
From Miami, Florida, to Dallas, Texas. I'm ready. How about them Cowboys? To you. This is Amber and Ian on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, and on Sirius XM Channel 80.
We got to see what the future of the league looks like against the current face of the NBA. Amber and Ian is presented by Progressive Insurance. Your small business keeps you on the go. Progressive Commercial Insurance keeps your policy within reach with our easy-to-use mobile app. Learn more at progressivecommercial.com. Ian is out tonight. He's gearing up for the national championship. He will be on the call for that game between Washington and Michigan. Coverage will begin right here on ESPN Radio on Monday night for that one at 6:30 p.m. Eastern from Houston. But tonight, I get Andre Snellings. And Andre Snellings is one of our senior NBA writers here at ESPN. So with him in the saddle, I get to talk a lot of NBA, which I love. And boy, did we get one. Did we get one between Wemby and Giannis, the first two meetings, or the first meeting between these two, I guess, budding superstar and bona fide superstar. Milwaukee got the best of this in terms of the win-loss column, 125 to 121. Who cares? What we care about is what these guys were doing individually. Antetokounmpo finished 44 points, 14 boards, 7 assists in 39 minutes. Wemby, 27 points, 9 boards, 5 blocks in 26 minutes. Andre.
Yes, that game was so fun to watch. Like just coming into it, I was hoping, because Wemby has some games this year where he shows signs of what he'll eventually be, but then he has some other games where he's just good. He's not quite transcendent. And I knew that it was his 20th birthday, and they reported that he was going to be on a 24-minute limit, and so I wasn't sure what to expect. Those two came out. It's like Giannis was being Giannis, but when Giannis was guarding Wemby and that joker turned and threw it off the backboard and went and got it and dunked two hands, I was like, it's about to go down. And from then on, it was kind of like a one-on-one contest between the two of them in the best way possible. They were both showing why they're freaks or unicorns or whatever adjective you want to use, doing things that nobody else could do. And again, Wemby, at the end of the game, when Giannis bodied his way to the rim and went up, that's normally a dunk on 100% of the rest of the NBA. And Wemby swatted that. I stood up and cheered in my house by myself. I loved that game.
A quiet 25 from Dame, right? On 10 boards and 0 turnovers. Like, everybody else in that game was invisible because all anybody cared about was that Giannis-Wemby matchup. And it was obvious that both of those guys showed up a little bit extra for that thing, right? Yeah. There was the extra motivation there. Yeah. Giannis said after the game that Wemby is special, calling him special. It didn't feel like a changing of the guard because Giannis is still Giannis, and that it's still that dude's league for now. But you could see Wembanyama is coming for him, and that's what was so special about seeing those two guys physically go up against each other. Like, we've seen, Wemby, and listen, the Spurs are terrible. The question moving forward is going to be, how do you build around him, right? But actually getting to see those two guys physically against one another, one-on-one, taking on each other at the same position, defending each other. That's what's fun about it. Hitting Wemby against, LeBron or some of these other guys in the league that are faces of the league, it's a different conversation than it is with Giannis, because you feel like Wemby is new age Giannis.
Yes.
Or going to be. Not quite there yet. I won't do that to Giannis yet. But.
Yeah, no, he's far up the curve, though. And so I felt like today, and I tweeted this during the game. Way back in 2014, I went to the Las Vegas Summer League. I go every year. And I went to watch the Bucks play the Jazz. And the Bucks had the number 2 pick that year, Jabari Parker. The Jazz had the number 5 pick, Dante Exum. So I was going to watch them. Instead, there was this long joker for the Bucks that was dunking on everybody. And the Jazz had this super tall French center that was blocking every shot that wasn't a dunk. And then at some point, the two of them started going back and forth with each other, like guarding each other, dunking on each other. And of course, it was Giannis and Rudy Gobert. And I came out of that that game, and I said, both of these guys are going to be stars because of the way they took the challenge and said, I've got this dog in me. You are not fin to do that to me, and vice versa. And so I knew Giannis had that. We've seen it for the last decade. Wemby showed me last night that he has that too. And he was like, I'm not scared of you. I'm not backing down from you. And I think that bodes so well for what he's going to develop into, more than the 7'5", more than the skills. Having that type of spirit and mindset and mentality is the mindset of a star in the NBA.
You saw he wasn't scared. He wasn't scared in that moment. And there's been some questions about that, right? I mean, even the moments that we've, what was it? His season debut was a little lackluster. This first game in the summer league, but then the second game, am I remembering that?
Yeah.
Correctly off the top of my head. And so the first game was a little lackluster, whatever. So there's been that, in the biggest moments, is he going to be able to step up to the plate? It's hard to judge. Again, I mentioned that Spurs team leaves a whole lot to be desired. He doesn't have a ton of help around him, and he's still developing. And there are games where Wemby, he's good. I mean, he's 8 feet tall, so of course he's going to be good. But he doesn't look, like he's going to be LeBron or MJ, the predecessor to that elite talent. And yet, in this moment against Giannis, he wasn't scared. He wasn't intimidated by one of those dudes that, maybe one day does get thrust into that conversation.
Yeah, and I would point out that I'm not sure if I agree with that last thing you said, because he looks like LeBron or, way better than Giannis as a rookie. Like he doesn't look like them now. He has to develop some. But one thing I noticed, so a few years back, before Giannis started winning MVPs, I wrote an article pointing out that Giannis's development through his first 5 or 6 seasons was almost spot on with LeBron's development through his first 5 or 6 seasons. And they were drafted exactly 10 years apart, 2003, 2013. And so in the article, I said, so based on this trajectory, Giannis should win the next 2 MVPs and then win a championship. And dang it if that's not what happened. And so now I fast forward here, Wemby was drafted exactly 10 years later, 2003, 2013, 2023. So it's feeling like maybe the NBA is on a once a decade for these, unicorn, once a generation talents. Maybe a generation is exactly 10 years, because what Wemby is showing, even on a day-to-day basis right now, to me suggests that if he stays healthy, like my man Harry Douglas would say, that boy bad.
Yeah, that boy bad. I think we have all seen the snippets of that. Of course, can he stay healthy? What is this going to look like? I heard a lot of the same things about Zion, and we'll see. We'll see where this thing ends up going. I do want to give you a few minutes here, though, because I want to bring up, and I mentioned that Andre Snelling's filling in for Ian Fitzsimmons tonight, one of our NBA writers. You can always check out his work on the.com. You have an article that dropped today on why landing, it's between the Knicks, it's a betting article, but it's between the Knicks here and the Raptors, the recent trade. And it's a bunch of dudes in that trade that don't necessarily have the huge names. And yet you make the argument in this article about how important a trade is in terms of fit.
Yes. So, the Knicks traded RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickley as the main players. They were the 3rd and 4th leading scorers on the team. And the main player they got back from Toronto is OG Anunoby. They also got a guy named Precious Achiuwa, who's a big man, and they needed that because their starting center's hurt. But Anunoby is the big fit player in this deal because he's a 3-and-D wing in the best sense of the word right now. And for the Knicks, they have Julius Randle and Brunson as their 2 best players. They're both guys that need the ball in their hands to create off the dribble. So you want to surround them on offense with guys that don't need the ball in their hands, that can just finish if they're, set up with a good look. And that wasn't the strength of either Barrett or Quickley. Both of those were guys that like to handle the ball themselves. Whereas OG are 3-pointers, and more than 95% of the 3-pointers he makes are assisted. So that's what he does. He goes and spots up at the 3-point line, knocks down the 3 at a high efficiency, and that's perfect for the Knicks offense. He's able to give them similar scoring numbers as what they were getting from those other guys, but he does it in a way that actually makes Brunson and Randle better. And more importantly, OG is one of the best defensive wings, or one of the best defensive players in the NBA. And that was something that the Knicks really lacked. So I felt like that was a trade of, as you pointed out, a player that really doesn't get a lot of attention outside of basketball nerds, that kind of changes the trajectory of the Knicks. I'm not going to say it makes them championship favorites, but I think, to me, if they stay healthy, they're clearly one of the top 4 teams in the East and have a good chance at home court advantage.
It's the all-new ESPN Radio Morning Show.
If Anthony